shoe, I said that you claim it. It's that Xbox, spin the block, his legs live. Fast talker, no riddling, moonwalking, selling moon rock just to make dividends. You in traffic with family? That much make it a portrait. Gun kick back, not grannies from porches. David on the scene, you know that it's scorching. What's the matter with King? No response to the saying, advancing the line, advancing the payment. You front the game and shoot, what said that you claim?
You already know the time, told my boys to hold the line. We gon' shoot it out in seconds, leave you posted like a vine. Bow your head down to the king, leave your roses at the shrine. We stay ready for the war, just need the king to drop the sign. Say what you running from, what you running from? I'm with my team, we bleed green, that's what you wanted, huh? Say what you running from, what you running from? I'm with my team, we bleed green, that's what you wanted, huh? This what you wanted. This what you wanted, huh?
Peace and blessings, and welcome back to Xbox Frontline News with your boy, the King. Now, I know you suffered with me yesterday when my program that I was using actually was not accessible because of the whole stuff that's going on with China. Did not know my program was part of that company that was based in China, to be honest with you. And it is what it is, I guess, at this point. But the program is up and running again today. But yesterday, I had to find other means to do my editing and stuff like that. And I know you guys that do editing is going to probably say, well, don't worry about a King. You know, you can edit with anything. Well, you know, that's easy for you if you went to school for editing and stuff like that. I didn't. So everything I'm learning on the fly, working with you guys and doing stuff. So there's different things that I'm learning. And it's cool because adversity breeds success. Because through adversity, you'll learn your strengths. You'll learn if you're tough or you're weak. You'll learn if you're going to fold or keep going. Yesterday, there was no option on just skipping a day and not giving you a video based on a minor inconvenience on my end. That's never going to be the case. It's always going to be push forward, work harder, be better, be stronger, you know, because again, I make videos and I know a lot of people say, oh, you make videos for console war. No. I make videos to show the lighter side of myself, you know, to my children, my grandchildren, and to leave a digital footprint for when I'm no longer here. You know, so if any of this stuff is still around, maybe years and years down the line when, you know, I'm no longer here, they could be like, yo, you know, check this out. Or, you know, show clips of me, do montages of me, give, I don't know. You know, maybe this is something inspirational for somebody other than my selfish needs to have it for my children, you know. But anyway, I noticed yesterday that you dudes just read the title and y'all start making stupid little comments without reading or without watching the video. Hashtag no PlayStation 6. We're going to run it up on these bums. It's still in full effect. You guys saw somebody leak something, and it was a rehash leak from probably a year ago about, you know, the L1 Kepler dude or whatever. AMD Kepler or whoever the hell. Listen, I'm well aware that the PlayStation 6 is in research and development. For you slow mind, smooth brains, low IQ individuals. Research and development is the same as, you know how when you ask that girl out and she says, I'll think about it. Before you get your answer, she has thought about it, and she's going to go home and think about it. And whatever her evaluation process in getting her to a yes or a no is the research and development. So she's doing research, and the new development is maybe you in, maybe you out. So right now, PlayStation is in research and development phase for the PlayStation 6. They're also in a research and development phase for the PlayStation handheld. Now, I gave you reasons for why I feel that the PlayStation 6 will not show up. And based off of a lot of stuff that we're going to talk about today, a lot of closures, well, hey, just maybe the King is right as hell. Because I've been right 98% of the time. Why stop now? Right? But let's get into these topics because I think these topics are truly fun. Do you guys know the best part of doing this stuff? All right. Mostly is like the Game Pass drops, right? So usually I'll be doing Game Pass drop Tuesdays. And it got to a point where it was so much news happening and Game Pass Tuesdays, kind of stopped. And you take for granted all the stuff that you was getting before. We can talk Game Pass strategy. Game Pass on its own with Microsoft with those older studios, that's not sustainable, right? Because you're going to run out of titles that you can place inside Game Pass based off of you using this business model of, let me put your game into my service and pay you. And the rewards of that isn't high, right? Because, all right, so you look at it, you're like, maybe you might get a couple of people new to Game Pass, but mainly what you're doing is placating and keeping the people that is already in Game Pass and Game Pass. The only way you get new people in Game Pass is your service is based off of your first party IPs being released inside your service for that price point. Now, you have to structure your tier system so that your tier system looks like something that is reflective of value. So you have a core, base or whatever, and you have standard, and you have the ultimate. So you can show the difference between that. Now, I understand people when they say sustainability. I get it. See, but what you didn't understand was before the ABK deal, with the Bethesda, with the ZeniMax deal, it was manageable, right? It wasn't sustainable. It was manageable. Before that, it wasn't sustainable. ZeniMax, manageable. But then you got to look at the cadence of Bethesda games. Very far between, right? And a lot of their games are based off of your modding and, adding on to the game and playing the game for an extended period of time and adding value in that nature. Now, when they added ABK, which they wanted to continue or have it done 2 years prior, that wasn't to be, okay? So what you had to do now is find a different avenue to make that happen. It happened. You see structure, you see stuff change. Now you have the cadence. You have such a crazy cadence that it's at a point now where you're saying to yourself, wow, these guys literally have too much. Now, there's a benefit to having too much, and there's a deficit to having too much. When you have too much, your release cadence for your service is going to be at high volume, but your return on your investments is going to be low. So now you have to facilitate sales. And you're going to have to make these sales in other avenues in which your console isn't prevalent. That's why you make sales on Nintendo Switch 2, Nintendo Switch, and PlayStation, and PC. Now, in those ecosystems, like the PlayStation, they don't have Game Pass. So they're beholden to those titles being sold. So that's a sale that you would not normally receive, right? Based off of your ecosystem and how it's structured. Same thing with Nintendo, same thing with PC. PC to a weirder extent because PC Game Pass is available at a cheaper price than it is normally. But at the same time, you have Steam. A lot of PC dudes don't give a damn what's on there. They're going to stick with Steam. Cool. Make a sale there. Now, I noticed that this month was slow for Game Pass, and I attribute it to Indiana Jones last month. So for the first half of this month, it was pretty much weird. Like you had that, what's that weird game? A truck game, USDA, whatever the hell. I didn't even download it. All right, and then you had UFC 8, right? Or 5 or something like that. Launch inside Game Pass. I have the latest UFC, so I didn't care about it. All right, so Game Pass for me this month as a Game Pass subscriber has been absolutely lackluster. And, I guess they decided, okay, they're going to give you the January list for Game Pass. All right, so January Game Pass list, second wave. Lonely Mountain Snow Riders, Flock, Gigantic Rampage Edition, Kitsugami Pathway of the Goddess. And you can see where it is and where they're going, all right? So you have eyeballs. You can look. I'm just going to read the names. Magical Delicacy, Chicha, Case of the Golden Idol, Starbound, Internal Strands, Orcs Must Die, Death Trap, Shady Part of Me, Sniper Elite Resistance, Citizen Sleeper 2, Star Wars Victor, and Far Cry New Dawn. And the games that are leaving is Archered, Bro Force Forever, Darkest Dungeons, Death's Door, Maquette, and Serious Sam, Siberian Mayhem. Out of those that's leaving, I can't vouch for everybody else, but I can vouch for Death's Door. And I'm going to tell you, go get Death's Door. Run and go get Death's Door. While you can still get that Game Pass, whatchamacallit, on a discount. Run now and make it happen. But Game Pass Tuesday, I haven't did it in a long time, and I also felt that, Game Pass was at a point where I was taking it for granted. And I realized this month that, I need my Game Pass, bro. I need my Game Pass drops that are bangers, but it looks like they're about to start a cadence that's going to be unstoppable. Is it me, or do these new controllers or these regular controllers have stick drift that's wild crazy? I got a bunch of controllers there, and a lot of them has stick drift, or a lot of them is, my character walks or whatever, and I got to, pick up another controller. I have so many controllers. But for those individuals that don't have as many controllers as I do, what I can tell you is Xbox sees rare with the latest Cypher Special Edition wireless controller. Victoria Kennedy calls it blood money, I guess. And you can look at it, it's in the design as the Sky Cypher and the Ghost Cypher. It's a pretty cool design, see-through controller. We had a lot of those back in the days, and Xbox is capitalizing on individuals that want that aesthetic, that see-through. See-through is cool. Get a chance to see the rumbles work, and it's a cool controller. So if you're in the market for a controller, I say get this. But I don't say get this. There's a controller that will be available, right? Me personally, there's other controllers that I am in the market of looking at and needing. 2 more days to that developer direct. I'm going to tell you where to watch it, and that's Iron Lords Podcast. We will be streaming this, all right? The same way tonight we'll be streaming the New York City Game Awards, hosted by myself, Forte, and Lord Attic, in support of Lord Cognito, who will be presenting an award at the New York City Game Awards. The rest of the Lords couldn't be there. I got some NDA stuff that I have to do today, along with Lord Attic and remotely Lord Cog. Attic and I had to be present to do this, and we know our Lord Sovereign is indisposed at the moment. So Iron Lords will be streaming the Xbox Developer Direct this Thursday, but definitely 100% tonight we will be streaming the New York City Game Awards at Iron Lords, so definitely check that out. Code Violet, brought to you from that studio that brought you Quantum Error. Now, you're going to see a bunch of PlayStation stands capping for this asset flip from Unreal Engine's 5. They did the same thing with Quantum Error, and Quantum Error was a disgusting mess of a game. and they capped and they capped and they capped so hard. Now, what is it? Kill Team or whatever the hell they're called. No disrespect, bros. They're talking about they're not bringing their game over to PC because they don't want modders to sexualize characters with the nudity and all that other stuff. You see stuff in Street Fighter and all that other stuff. And let me tell you something. Because they think that children are looking at these mods. These mods is for adults. Made by adults for adults, right? And I don't partake in those mods, so I don't care about it. It's a non-existent factor of the internet when it comes to me. When I was growing up, you got something like Leisure Suit Larry. This game, for all intents and purposes, is always looking good in trailers. You're gonna have Xbox guys talking about, oh, the game looks decent, Same thing with the PlayStation dudes. It was about them looking good in trailers, and then when you got the actual execution of said game, it was horrible. And that was Quantum Era. So I expect nothing less with Code Violet. Listen, it's a nothing burger. Nobody cares if you port your game over to PC. They're not looking for it. They're not asking for it. And any PlayStation person in their right mind should not be asking for this game. It's stuff like this that makes hashtag no PlayStation 6 a true reality. I truly appreciate stuff like this launching exclusively on the PlayStation platform. Please keep that crap off of Xbox. Continue to do what you do, how you do it, why you do it. And trust me, we don't care. We won't ask for it. It won't be something that we'll be looking for. So in July, run out and buy PlayStation dudes. Go have fun with that, because us Xbox dudes don't care. We'll still be talking about all the stuff from the Xbox show. Hopefully y'all have a show, right? Now, I don't know what's all this renewed vigor into the whole Resident Evil old school stuff. I was thinking more along the lines of like Resident Evil 9. But apparently, you're going to have the new games launching on modern consoles, which is, Resident Evil 6, like we talked about yesterday, Resident Evil 4 HD, and Origins Collection. I think if you have backwards compatibility, I think you could pop those discs in right now and just play them. I don't see the necessary reasons for this unless that stuff had added stuff. I mean, because, I picked up the majority of stuff like Resident Evil 0 and all that other stuff on other consoles, right? I think it was like GameCube or something like that, right? And, yeah. Listen, I think on the show, they're going to have a Resident Evil section. And he's going to have a segment of play all the Resident Evil games on one place, which is Xbox. And hopefully they show Resident Evil 9. If we're getting so much action with all these Resident Evils, hopefully Resident Evil 9 happens to pop up and show out, so, and then these games can like satiate us until Resident Evil 9 comes out. So I don't know. If y'all see me petting, I'm petting Coco, because she's down here and she's, I don't know, doing Frenchie stuff. You know how Frenchies make noise and lick their hands and grunt and grind. Pause. But yeah. This is what we're looking forward to. A whole bunch of old games launching on current consoles. Sickening. Didn't I tell you? Now, this is the one that surprised me more than anything. Horizon MMO appears to have been canceled. Okay. So now all the games that you had for Game of Services is dead. Even the one that I thought that will sneak through. And the only reason why I thought it would sneak through because of Herman Hulse. I thought Herm was the one that would have got this over the line, because you got to look at Guerrilla Games and how the nepotism and propaganda from Herman Hulse has permeated the PlayStation ecosystem to such an extent is disgusting. His game is the only game, or his ex company is the only company, team is the only developer to drop on VR. Is the only developer to drop on the Switch and have multiple remakes of existing titles. Herm has always pushed for Horizon, and when we heard that everything else was canceled but the MMO, it led us to believe that Herm will fight for the title or titles that he feels is the most, I don't know how to explain it, but in a sense it's the best option for him. Now, what I would say is, I know Hiroki has a hired hitman, and I heard through the grapevine that he's supposed to make an appearance today on Xbox Frontline News. Matter of fact, I think he's here. Let's hear from him. No, Hiroki has explained to me that we had to trim the fat, if you will. Live service games just haven't been working out over at Sony. So I had to make sure that we couldn't have another Concord escape. From this day forward, all live services will meet the same end. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Do I make it clear enough for you, ponies? All games of services are hereby put on ice. You won't hear from them, see of them, or know about them ever again. They're taking a dirt nap, if you will. Michael out. Now, when people told me that Hiroki had people or friends in high places, I would have never imagined in a million years that he would be friends with Michael Myers. I mean, wow. That's insane. But you know what's more insane? How is this sustainable? How is putting in the man hours, the man time, paying people to work on projects that haven't seen the light of day? Now, it's okay to work on a couple of projects and, hey, man, stuff happens, but very on in production or very on in the R&D aspect of it. But for these things to be in development for years, and in the case of Concord, actually release and then get yanked off shelves 11 days later. But for the other 10 games of service, because remember, there was 12. That was including everything from Bungie. So now you still have Fair Games and Marathon, which Marathon hasn't been charting well. But I guess Bungie is under the threat or deliver to, the threat to deliver. Haven't heard anything about Fair Games. So you got these games that 12 of them were in development, whereas you had all your studios pretty much working on stuff like this. And all of them except Insomniac, I think. Insomniac had the Spider-Man games, the multiplayer. You're looking at this and you're saying to yourself, this is not sustainable because they're spending money but not making money. And then they got to bring out stuff like, PlayStation 5 Pro with no give back to the consumer. Over a year ago, Sony announced a strategic partnership with Korean publisher Nsoft. You don't remember? Partnership didn't work out. This is the part where I say hashtag no PlayStation 6. You know how we do. We're going to run it up on these bums. I'm going to keep the boot on Kong's neck this whole generation. I am Mr. 98% right all the time. And I told you the moment they hired Jim Ryan, that was the greatest acquisition that I needed to happen in order to make sure that this was your last generation, or console generation, in the traditional sense. Oh, you'll have a device. But it won't be a PlayStation 6. Just saying. And if your panties in a bunch from me saying this, untangle them. Well, thank you for making it this far. I mean, I truly appreciate each and every last one of you coming out and watching the video. Tonight, Iron Lords will be at the Game Awards. Now, some of the core members will be streaming the Game Awards for you to see. And in streaming the Game Awards for you to see, there'll be one presenter that is very special that'll be there representing the Iron Lords. So he'll be presenting an award. And I'm going to say shout out to Lord Cognito because I know you're going to do fantastic, cuzzo. Now, we saw a lot of stuff today. We saw, see-through controllers for Xbox. We saw games like Resident Evil. We saw some crappy developer that did Quantum Error talking about the Code Violet. I pray that this game is better than Quantum Error, but you have not instilled in me benefit of the doubt for you. So can't give you that. He's going to score 40 or lower on the Metacritic, and I think it's perfect that you keep launching over on PlayStation because we don't want that here. We have enough issues that we don't need yours. So keep that over there. But we also saw Horizon MMO get the kibosh. Now, shout out for Michael Myers for coming through, hanging out with the kid. I heard him and Hiroki is good friends. So I heard, it was some snuff jobs had to get done. And your man Michael had to go take care of the snuff situation. Now, it sucks being a Horizon fan. I know it's not many of y'all. I mean, surprisingly, it didn't live up to expectations. Not. But y'all guys that are rooting. I see weird dudes talking about games of service should die, man. We don't want no games of service here. Well, games of service is running the industry right now. And the fact that PlayStation has nixed 12 live games of service means that they're wasted money, time, stuff that they'll never get back. So there won't be any revenue to get from these titles. Think about the marketing aspect of these games, whereas you could have made more money off of merch and everything else. And now you can't do none of that because the game is kibosh. But my man Michael Myers did his thing. Now, it's so sad to see no PlayStation 6 is truly a reality. Because the PlayStation 5 Pro needed to come out in order to fulfill the prophecy. Now the last half of the prophecy can come true, and you guys can see it. Yes, with both eyes. That they're done. I know it's a lot of dudes out there fighting for relevancy. We got to stay afloat. We got to make a pivot. How about this Xbox news sound? Partner, pull up a chair for disappointment. Now it's your turn. But you don't have Daddy Sony to bail you out. That's the difference. You're not like us. Such a sad state. It's so sad that, I sat there and I thought about it. I thought about it for a minute. I was like, yo, I cannot believe that they did that. And also, let me clarify something. I told you I did not believe that they just canceled them and didn't talk to the studios, and they found out at the same time we found out. I told you that was not true. It couldn't be true. I would hope that wouldn't be true. I would hope. I don't care now. I care about the people. But then, Jason Schreier and Jeff Grubb fixed it up that, they knew before the article came out. So them knowing is best, because I'm going to tell you right now, them not knowing, I'm not about that. But this is the part of the video when I'm going to tell you to like, follow, and subscribe. Hit that notification buttons, because I drop videos daily. And you like streaming? You like to see games being streamed? Well, go to Frontline Gaming Streams. Link is in the description. Go over there, hit the link, also the Discord. So how we do it is you jump inside the Discord, boom, we're playing, link up, we'll talk about who's playing what we're doing. Members dictate pace, always. You members are hugely important to this channel. Hugely. So if you're a member, hey, you want to play some Call of Duty? Let's get it in. You want to play some Tekken? Let's get it in. Marvel Rivals? Let's get it in. Let's do it. But link is in the description for the channel, because it's not this channel. It's a separate channel. That's Frontline Gaming Streams. Hit that. Boom. We're in. We're gaming. We're doing what we do. Winning. Running it up on these bumps. And I'm going to take that logo and I'm going to throw it around the New York City Game Awards tonight, because that's the real Game Awards. Not just saying that because I'm New York's own. I'm not saying that because have a seat. Iron Lords have a seat on Gaming's Critic Circle. Not saying that. What I'm saying is integrity matters, and nobody's questioning Harold's integrity. Try to play the Game Pass.